Thank you for joining again as we reflect on self-awareness. This week, I had a life-changing message on Facebook. It said, "My dear Betty, I remember Betty Mosley very well. You and your sister were two of my favorite students." It was from our fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Martin. I couldn't believe she remembered me. This was in the 1960s. I was about 10 years old. Mrs. Martin was the youngest female teacher I'd ever known. She was intelligent, elegant, witty, and always made me feel like she was only teaching me about the solar system, decimals and fractions. I also remember having more homework, book reports, and research projects. I loved the fourth grade. Back then, as many children of today, I was aware that I just didn't fit in. I did not see my value as many others saw me. I enjoyed being in the classroom instead of physical activities outside. Thank goodness for the family, friends, school, and church teachers and mentors who saw something in me. Because of their constant encouragement, I heard outwardly from them a different narrative than I, as a youngster, was telling myself. I sometimes did not feel I could even relate to others my age. I was a little black girl living in an almost all-white community in the 1960s. Although I was colorblind, not everyone else was. I resonated with the values inside of a person who was true, who was faithful, who was loving, who was kind. The color of the skin did not matter to me, nor did it matter to any of my nurturing teachers like Mrs. Martin. Even in the 1970s, I was aware that I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be recognized. I wanted to be invited to be one of the in crowd. Until that, one day when I became almost famous. In fact, I must share a little story with you. My mom kept me busy and I was headed to a church youth conference in San Diego. We traveled 3 hours to Philadelphia International Airport. If you were in the airport that day, you may have heard my name announced over and over and over again. For over an hour, everyone traveling, landing, working, or waiting for someone heard the name Betty Mosley. You see, as one of the church young adult missionaries, I was MIA, missing in action. As it turned out, I'd been given the incorrect departure information. Yet, because our Army mom was always one to be early, I made it to the airport just in the nick of time to check in. Out of breath, we approached the ticket counter and announced, "I'm Betty Mosley." I could hear the whispers. "That's Betty Mosley. There she is. It's her. She made it." For a moment, I felt famous. Dear friends, in all things we do, we must remember that our footprint is international and may live on forever. We must be self-aware that we are part of the world, not the whole world. Sheryl Sandberg said, "We cannot change what we are not aware of. And once we are aware, we cannot help but change." That is being self-aware. How does your flame and the flame you ignite in others continue to burn and energize future generations? This week, Mrs. Martin learned how her flame touched her student soul. By being self-aware, if you answered that your flame is just an ember and doesn't touch anyone, this is the perfect time to reconnect to young people in your family, extended family, church, community, and even to mentor on Zoom forums with young people. This is your season for self-awareness. Meet me here next week with intention. Until then,